everyone, welcome to Winged Horse Designs. This week's YouTube video is going to be this cute little box that holds 4 heart-shaped tea lights in it. And this is made with products from the mini catalog and the celebration catalog. So let's go ahead and switch the camera and we'll get started. So here's a closer view of this cute little flameless tea light box that we're going to make. This one, I just loved the red with the black with the gold. I just think it's very elegant. And this box has a magnetic closure. So we're just going to open that up, and the magnets are held inside behind the designer series paper, and inside you have 4 heart-shaped flameless tea lights. So I'm going to close that back up. Again, it has a magnet that closes it shut. We'll set this up here in the corner. And to make this our little box, the only stamps that we're going to use is Itty Bitty Greetings, and we're going to use the Sent with Love, but this has greetings for a lot of, it comes in 2 boxes because it has greetings for just about everything. You have anniversary, you have best wishes, hope you're feeling better, congratulations, graduation, have a lucky day. St. Patty's Day is right around the corner. Fabulous at any age, sending prayers, hey friend, for you, birthdays, Hanukkah, Mother's Day, world's best father, trick or treat. So there's something for basically every occasion in this. It even has for your retirement. The ink that we will use is Tuxedo Memento Black. And then we're going to use 1 full sheet. This next one I'm going to do in black instead of red, that measures 8.5 by 11 inches. And for our designer series paper, I pulled from the celebration set that's called Golden Honey Specialty Designer Series paper. So we'll see if we can pick up on the gold, but it has a gold hexagon side, and on the other side of that is some honeycombs and bees, so black and white. Then you have black and gold, a honeycomb design, and on the other side some kind of a check pattern. How about some gold bees and honey beehives? And on the back side of that is a hexagon black and white. So one side of this has the gold foils in it, and then the opposite side of that, the opposite side of this piece, is the black and white stripe. This is the one we're going to use today. And then here's a gold dotted stripe. The other side of it is some pretty flowers that you could color in to be any color you want. This is the one I used on this box, the bold black with gold stripes. And on the back of that is this fine little petite floral pattern. So that's a fun one. That's Celebration, and that is a level 1 celebration, so you can get that with the purchase of $50 in product. Then you select from the celebration catalog. So for those DSP pieces, we're going to need 2 pieces that measure 2¼ inches by 3½ inches, 2 pieces that measure 1¼ inches by 3½ inches, and 2 pieces that measure 1¼ inches by 3 inches. We're going to bring in the heart doilies. This is a real fun little set, and there are 20 real red hearts and 20 flirty flamingo hearts. I'm going to use the real red, and then I'm going to flip the flirty flamingo and use the white side. You could also stamp on these, emboss on these, change these white ones into any color that you like. So we're going to use those 2. We're going to bring in some red Rhinestone basic jewels, add just a little bit of bling to that, and then we're also going to need the detail trio punch for rounding our corners. So let me set this completely aside and bring in the scoreboard so that we can score and cut. Let's see, I need to zoom out a bit here. Maybe if we turn it this direction, there we go. we're going to match our template here. So we're going to make our score lines. We're going to cut away these 3 squares on all 3 sides, round the corners of our tabs, notch our other little flaps that go in and hold our box together. The template is over on my blog, so you don't need to write down any of these measurements. I'm going to bring in the score tool, Simply Score tool. I like this because it has measurements in 1/8 of an inch. And we are going to do some scoring in those 1/8 of an inch. So on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to score at 7/8 of an inch. 2 3/8 of an inch. 6 1/8. And 7 5/8. We're going to rotate it to the 11-inch side, and we are going to score at 2 3/8 of an inch, 3 7/8 of an inch, 7 1/8 of an inch. And if you don't like rulers, we're going to score at 8 5/8 of an inch. So rather than know that it's 1 mark after the 1/2 inch, which is 4/8, you can simply start at 8 and count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have 8 5 inches. So we'll move the scoreboard out of the way. And we're going to fold and burnish on all of these lines to make it easier to cut. And then we're going to come in again and cut to match our template on these corners. So we are going to cut in to the second score line, just inside the score line. And then we're going to cut on this second score line to the first score line. And again, cut up to the second score line so that those 2 pieces are gone. We're going to cut off this little rectangle piece here. And then we're just simply going to notch our little flaps so that we get a nice smooth edge when we go to put our box together. And we're going to do this on all 4 corners. And now our box is beginning to resemble our template. So we just need to round the corners on all of these flaps. And I'm going to bring in that corner rounder and I'm going to round all of those flaps. Just going to get a nice good snug fit in there and round all of these. So now that our box looks like our template, what we need to do is put our designer series paper on here. So I'm going to take 2 of the bigger pieces and I'm going to round the corners just on the one side. What I like to do is I like to place my designer series paper where they're going to go, especially when I'm using a diagonal or a directional pattern such as this one. So I want to basically match up my stripes as much as possible. And then since this one has a wide white and this one has a thin black, I'm going to spin this one around here so that when the box is together it kind of looks like it's going around. So now we just need to glue these pieces on. I'm going to glue these 4 pieces on and then come back and talk about putting our magnets in before we glue those flaps down. Okay, so now that we have those down, I'm going to bring in these little bitty magnets, and I'm purposely keeping them as far apart as possible because they are strong. Let me see if I can find, and I had 2 that came together and I couldn't get them apart. And just to give you an idea how strong they are, this box is about 3 3/4 inches apart. And look at this, there's 3.5 inches, and see how fast they just snap together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to leave these 2 pieces out, and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to act like it's all together here. And we'll come back and we'll actually glue it. So one side is going to go over the top of the other, and it doesn't matter which side you pick. So I'm going to pick this side, and I'm actually going to take a pencil and draw a little line here, because that's going to get covered up with the designer series paper anyway. And from there, I'm going to take a glue dot, and I'm going to put a glue dot on my magnet so that it'll stay in place while I put on my designer series paper. And I'm going to put it right about in the middle above that line. So I'm just gonna eye guess it. It really doesn't matter. So I'm gluing that down. So now I can actually glue my designer series paper over the top of it. And so the magnet will be there, and it will hold everything together because they are such strong magnets. And I found these many years ago over on Amazon. You might be able to find them in a local craft store. And you get quite a few for a small amount of money. And so we're just going to glue that designer series paper down. And like I said, this time I chose the plain black and white because I think that's just as stunning as the gold and black is as well. So now we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to like hold our box together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find where that magnet goes, and see, it just snaps right to where it needs to go. And I'm going to take and just draw a circle around that, because again, it's going to get covered up in designer series paper. And I'm going to put a glue dot down there in the middle of my circle. And then I'm going to allow this magnet to sit right inside that circle. And we'll put our designer series paper over the top of that. It was really hard to decide which side to use because this side with the bumblebees is so cute. And anyone who personally knows me knows that Donna does soft subtles. She never does bold prints, but I'm doing bold today. Stepping outside my comfort zone. Okay, so now we need to glue these flaps together and glue our box together, and then we'll work on the decorations. You could use any strong adhesive, tearing tape, or any other strong adhesive you have. I like the liquid glue because it gives me a little bit of time to play with getting them lined up. So we're just going to take and fold that one in, and we're actually going to just bring this edge right up to the score line. And then do the same thing on the other, all the other 3 sides. And there you have this cute little box that will hold your 4 tea lights. So I'm just going to take them from here. I'm going to move them over to this box. And it will hold these 4 little heart-shaped tea lights. So we'll fold the bottom one up, and the top one down, and the magnet just pulls it tight together. So, okay, so I didn't, sorry seamstress out there, these lines don't match up perfectly. But when we get the heart in here, it's really not going to be, we're going to have so much going on, it's not really going to show up that much. So we're going to go ahead and glue this heart down to the top flap only. So we're going to put our glue just in the top portion of our heart. And then for this heart, we're actually going to cut it along all these little dotted, along the dotted lines here. So I'm just going to come in, and if you have a heart punch that's the right size, you could do that. We do have a heart punch that coordinates with these. It's just not the exact same perfect size. So I'm just going to snip these right around these little perforated sides. And now this heart will fit perfectly inside the other heart. So let's do our little bit of stamping that we're doing. And this time I'm going to stamp in real red since there's so much black on this one. So we're just going to stamp in the middle of this heart. I'm going to bring it down here a little bit closer to me so I can see better what I'm doing. So just stamp it with Sent with Love. Pop it up with Dimensionals. You don't really need this many Dimensionals, but that's okay. And I'm going to lay this one right on top of where the perforation was for the other one. And then bring in our little rhinestones to add a little bling. Using my Take Your Pick tool here. So I'm just going to put one on either side of Sent with Love. And then let's just put another one right up in here somewhere. So there you have 2 cute little boxes that will hold 4 of the heart-shaped Flameless tea lights. You could also fit in regular sized Flameless tea lights if you got them. Or you could probably a pair of small socks folded up inside, some tissue paper with a piece of jewelry. There's a lot that could be, a whole lot of sweet confections would fit in there. But I just thought those were so cute when I saw those heart-shaped tea lights at the store that I just had to have them. So I hope you enjoy this cute little box. I also do Facebook Lives every Wednesday night, so please do join me this Wednesday night as I am going to do a card that matches this box. Have a great week, everyone. Happy trails!